All right, we're getting ready for the start of the men's under 17 quad. This is final A. We've got 8 boats across in lane 1, Los Gatos. Lane 2, Long Beach Juniors. Lane 3, Texas Rowing Center. Lane 4, Maritime. Lane 5, Redwood Scullers. Lane 6, River City. Lane 7, Newport Seabase. And Lane 8, Utah.
Another one of those fun 8-boat races. One of the hardest for us to call because we have so many boats to keep track of, but it makes for great racing. It also makes for great finishes because there are so many teams out there to support. So you get a lot of those fans who get to come down to the shore to see the racing.
Yeah, and some of these teams actually pretty easy to see based on what their boat looks like. Texas Rowing Center with that beautiful bright blue boat right out there in lane 3, looking good. And lane 6, River City with the fastest start. I mean, they really just shot out of the gates there. So River City in lane 6 looks to be your very early leader, and then it's just too close to call between all the other crews for proper placement. We're going to have to wait to see that good overhead shot to see exactly where these guys are at.
Rowing in the quad as a junior does take a lot of maturity. There's a lot of understanding that has to happen to be in that boat. First off, the ability to race yourself without a coxswain being there. Second, the technique alone to be able to scull well, and then to be able to scull well together to be able to make a boat go fast. Then you also have to worry about keeping your boat in the lane and doing all of that while executing a race plan. This is by no means an easy race to be a part of. And it's really exciting to see juniors rowing moving into this quad structure, seeing more sculling happening in juniors rowing here in the US right now. It's a really great way to develop youth rowers and give them a leg up as they move on in their rowing careers. Right now, looking at standings as I can see it, it looks like Los Gatos in 1, Long Beach Juniors in 2, Texas Rowing Center in 3, Maritime 4. I'm going to give 5 to Newport Seabase, then Redwood Scullers, and then River City in Utah off the back. We're unable to see them in the camera right now.
Yeah, again, we talked about how quickly the boat speed can change and how quickly they can respond to movement in these smaller boats, lighter boats. There are, obviously the athletes have 2 oars and they've got to keep that boat on track and running straight. That makes a big difference in speed. And so we see that sometimes when they make a move, they take a power 10, that boat really responds quickly. So there can be a lot of movement change. We saw that in that previous race. So we'll keep an eye on these crews as they progress down the race course. But certainly Los Gatos now with open water over the rest of the field, opening that up to about a length of open water over the second place crew, which is a Long Beach. Long Beach Juniors in lane 2. They look to have about a stern advantage over Texas Rowing Center. Texas in that bright blue boat I called out in lane 3. Texas sitting just about a seat over Maritime, Maritime from Connecticut. And in the 5th place position looks to be Newport Seabase.
Maritime really trying to be in the hunt against Texas Rowing Center in that third place position. They are staying in contact well enough that they could have an opportunity here to move into that third place position. I think they want it. And so we're going to have to see what they do as they come into the finish because Maritime was putting a little bit of heat there on Texas Rowing Center. That's tough to tell from that camera perspective. So make your way to the beach to catch the end of this race. These boats are coming in. Los Gatos has got that lead position, but we're going to have to see how the other 2 positions shake out for the top 3.
Yeah, between Texas and Maritime, that is really heating up. Maritime putting it on right now as we come into the final strokes here. Maritime just barely holding off. Texas Rowing Center just barely holding off Maritime for that third place spot. But I don't know. It's going to come all the way down to the line for that third place position.
Los Gatos has got the win. Then it looks like we've got Long Beach Juniors. Oh, and dead even between Texas Rowing Center and Maritime. We get back-to-back horns. That one is tough to tell. Then on the outside, it looks like we've got Utah crossing the line. Now, River City, Newport, Seabase, and Redwood Scullers not necessarily in that order. Utah Utah with a finish. So we were not able to call them throughout the race. We did not recognize the lane that they were in. So our fault for not being able to call Utah throughout that race, but they were in the hunt.